light's pretty good. I need to turn it on.
Thank you, thank you. Good morning, beloveds. Welcome to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln. My name is Mary Kay Stillwell. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a worship associate here at the church. Over the last few years, the way we have met has often changed, but whether in person, on Zoom, YouTube live stream, or some other way that we can't imagine yet, worshiping together is a chance to deepen our connection with the sources of meanings in our lives and to proclaim who we are and what we're about, throwing open the doors of our congregation and welcoming the radical love and welcome that is at the heart of our faith. At this time, Marcia Cedardahl, a member of our board, would like to offer her own welcome and give us a few announcements.
Good morning. My name is Marcia Cedardahl, and I am a member of the Board of Trustees. I want to offer a special welcome to those of you who are visiting for the first time. I have a few announcements to share as our church community extends beyond Sunday morning worship. The first one is that the transition webpage, I have not had nearly enough coffee, that's on our church website, has gotten an upgrade, and it now includes a general comment forum through which you can send anonymous info to the transition team, which is pretty cool. The direct link to the transition page is in your Friday e-blast, or you can use one of the envelopes outside of the church office and drop your suggestion in the lockbox. The transition team really wants to hear from all of you. And secondly, we are hiring child care providers and a membership coordinator. Please share the information with friends and family members who are seeking a part-time position. Use the We Are Hiring button at the top of our website to find more information about how to apply or check in with the church office. And now I would like to introduce Judy Hart, and she's got some exciting news to share with you all.
There's so much happening on our website. That's not my news. But I'm Judy Hart. I'm so proud to be the president of your Board of Trustees. At our February meeting, the board voted to extend Reverend AJ's contract for another year, and he accepted. So that's great news. Transition is a time of unknowing, but this one we know, so that one's good. So the next steps are that over the next few months, we'll be putting together a search team that will begin the research and search for our next minister. So you'll be hearing from the nominations committee and the board over the next couple of weeks. So thank you all, and thank you, Reverend AJ.
The Unitarian Church of Lincoln aspires to be a loving community, uniting reason with spiritual exploration to transform ourselves and our world. We have a big vision here, and we know that creating a loving community begins with welcome. So whether this is your first time here or your 500th, if you came here hopeful or heartbroken, whatever your age, gender, skin color, whomever you love, you are welcome here. As we enter into worship, take a moment to center yourself in this place. Find a comfortable place with your body. Take a few deep breaths. And let us continue into worship with our chalice lighting. Our chalice lighting this morning is titled Less Beautiful Without You, and it was written by Reverend Tess Baumberger. This place would be less beautiful without you, Muslim, Christian, Buddhist, Jew, Hindu, humanist, and earth-centered too. This place would be less beautiful without you, your heart honed by hardship, grief, and illness. seeking solace and comfort here among us. This place would be less beautiful without you, filled with joy and gratitude, seeking celebration of life's bounty. This place would be less beautiful without you, curious, inquisitive, asking questions, seeking transformations emerging from within. This place would be less beautiful without you, striving to resist a world that tells us we are so much less than we can truly be. This place would be less beautiful without each of us, born here in this morning to seek heaven's fire in each other's souls, our own flames rising to meet. Our first hymn this morning is number 142, Let There Be Light. Please stand as you are able.
Good morning. I'm Shelley, and my pronouns are they, them, and we are going to do a skit with you and for you for the Time for All Ages. So we're going to have to use our imaginations. Can y'all over in the corner help us use your imaginations? We're going to imagine that Kathy is a little kid like you. And we're going to imagine that Erica is her favorite toy, Poppy. And later we're going to imagine that Linda is Kathy's parent. What do you think's going to happen? Oh. Welcome to Kathy's room. Kind of messy, isn't it? I wonder if your room sometimes looks like this. Does your room look messy sometimes? Oh, I better stay by the microphone. Does your room look messy sometimes? Mine sure does. Mine has a little bit more glitter, though. It does look like they're having a lot of fun, though, right?
Yeah. I can't find my purple pony. Where is it?
I don't know. I don't see them anywhere.
Y'all want to come help them look? Do you
Look
think
for a
you could
purple
help
pony.
them look in the
It's a purple
pile?
pony. I don't see one. I don't know where it is. Where is it? We just don't know. It's a mystery.
Is it over there? Maybe
No.
over there?
It's
I think I
purple. It's
You
purple
think
and
you
it's
know?
a pony.
I think I know what happened.
What?
I think the ghost took it.
That's another chapter. Here. So.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's not a pony. But that's good that you found it.
Okay.
Hey, here comes Kathy's parental unit. You better go back to where you were sitting. Thanks for helping.
You're not on.
She is an adult. It takes adults longer to figure out this kind of stuff, right?
Kathy, it looks like your toys are having a party. Maybe we need to clean up a bit.
Don't worry. As per usual, the parental unit has a great idea. Let's see what it is.
Let's try something fun. This box is for the toys you still play with a lot. And the one beside you, pick up your box there. Here. Yes, that one. That's the one that you might use to put the toys in that you'd be willing to share with other kids that might enjoy them.
Ooh, the kid looks skeptical.
But what about favorite toy?
What about me?
The toy looks scared.
I'm so worried. You need me, right? I need you, toy. I need all my toys.
But Kathy, I bet if you look closely, you'll find some toys you don't really enjoy anymore. Maybe you've grown bigger now and you don't need certain ones so much.
The kid thought that just might work.
I haven't played with this one in ages. It can go in the donate box.
But what about the old puzzle? Don't you still like it?
Do y'all have any toys or other things at your house that maybe you don't need anymore? Do you maybe have some things that you could find another kid that might like them better? Anybody? Yeah, we all do, don't we?
I like this toy, but it's a bit broken. Should I keep it?
Well, you can always try to fix it, or in my house, we throw it out. But if you don't think you will fix it, it's okay to let it go to someone who might be able to fix it.
What about that Tigger one?
Oh, what about it?
Tigger.
Tigger's good.
Is that a
Do-
keep?
Okay.
Is that a keep or a giveaway? Okay.
I love them all.
Do any of y'all know how to fix things? Some things? Did you know it's fun to embroider patches onto the holes in your clothes? Or sometimes giving a fresh coat of paint to something old makes it almost brand new. Sometimes fixing things can be artistic.
I feel good knowing other kids will get to play with these toys now. Like that Tigger right there. Another kid will get to play with it, and that makes me feel good.
That's right. Sharing is caring.
Let's put these away.
Can you help put them away? Kids, can you help?
In the box, in the box,
The good ones.
in the box. Everybody in the box.
Not your personal toys that you brought, of course.
Wow, my room feels so much bigger now.
And it's gonna be so much easier to find what you're looking for.
Way over there. Because that guy ate it and threw it there.
Great job, Kathy. Remember, it's okay to let go of things you don't need anymore. We don't need anymore.
That's right. Thank you for helping everybody. Let's keep...
Wiener. Oh, thank you.
Thank you to our kid, Kathy Disney, our grown-up, Linda Brown, and our poppy puppet, Erica Berkey Rios. Thank you all. Keep decluttering through donations and creativity. And the children may go back to their classrooms now.
Thank you, thank you. A central part of our services is the time we join together as a community to mark the moments of our lives. We share with one another our joys, our sorrows, the events that mark the steps on our journey. The threads of sorrow and joy are intertwined in the fabric of our lives, present for all, remembered by all. We share those threads, and then they're woven together with those of others in our community. Our joys are shared and magnified, and we are comforted in our sorrows. Jason's going to help me out today so we don't miss anyone on the comments in the chat. I invite you to type into the chat or speak into our shared space your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered in sorrow. Pat and Don. Kevin Wilkins. Phyllis Burkfield.
Ginger.
Sorry?
Ginger.
Ginger.
Tim.
Bill.
Hind and all the other Palestinian little children killed in the war.
All the little Palestinian children killed in the war. Do we have anyone in the chat yet? No.
Our country.
Our country. I invite you to type into the chat or speak into our shared space your name or the name of another you wish to be remembered in joy.
Ramadan market yesterday.
Ramadan market yesterday?
Ramadan.
Ramadan, yes, yesterday.
My son sold his house in Texas, and he and his family are going to be moving 50 minutes from me next month.
Marcia tells us her son has sold his house in Texas, and he's moving north, and
Oh, he's moving north of Texas.
yeah. And he'll be 50 minutes away from Marcia, from Mom.
No Coast Roller Derby had their first bout of the season yesterday.
Could you repeat that?
No Coast Roller Derby had their first bout of the season yesterday.
No Coast Roller Derby had its first bout yesterday.
Judge Anna Reyes.
Say,
Judge Anna Reyes.
Judge Anna Reyes?
Anna C. Reyes.
Reyes.
Joe Hill, labor organizer who we have celebrated from the pulpit in this church, whose dying words were, "Don't mourn, organize."
Joe Hill, whose work we have recognized here and celebrated from the pulpit's last words were, "Don't mourn, organize."
We have a joy online. Nate Smith says, "Joy for learners, teachers, and seekers."
Joy for Julie Anderson and all the work she does for the choir.
Joy for Julie Anderson and all the fine work she does for the choir and the choir.
Joy for Shelley getting a new knee.
Joy for Shelley getting a new knee.
Joy for our senators fighting for good.
Joy for our senators fighting for good. Oh, no kidding. Thanks to the governor of Maine for sending her letter and standing up to the president. Thank you, Jason. We know too that there are some joys and some sorrows that are yet unspoken, but still very deeply felt. Let us hold a moment of silence for everything unspoken. Thank you for your presence.
Will you join me now in a time of prayer and meditation? And our meditation this morning is from Chad Snyder. Love is loud. Love, says the Old Covenant, is the spirit of this church. Love, the spirit of our church. I hope so. Because love has things to say. Love is joy and laughter, giggles and silly love songs. But love speaks too to the real pain in the world. Love knows. It knows hate and fear, selfishness and greed, bullet and blade, the cutting edge of indifference. Love knows. And love does not let us turn away. It does not rest in thoughts and prayers. Love knows the names, says the names out loud, and will keep saying them until the day we hope against all that is holy, those names no longer need saying. Love is loud. Love clamors. It applauds. It shouts down and fires up. Love calls us to the margin, not waiting for the echo. Chases its voice to that margin in song and joyful noise, in apology for hurts caused, shifts the center until the margin isn't. Love does not suffer the suffering of others in silence, but resonates in silent space, held for another's story. Love is the spirit of this church if we choose it and give it voice. And if we make that choice, then in the noise, in the raucous joy and wailing pain, in the righteous rage, in the resonating silence, in the cacophony of beautiful voices and possibilities, through all this holy racket, love will guide us. Amen.
Love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road
Our reading today is from Interim Ministry, a primer, by Reverend Keith Crone. The interim period following the end of one relationship and preceding the beginning of another provides breathing space during which a congregation can review its goals, assess its programs, consider the quality of its life in common, and tune up for a new era. The 1 to 2 year period it usually takes for a congregation to grow into and own its new identity, independent of both positive and negative feelings about the ministry that it has come to an end, can be exciting, even transformative, when devoted to self-examination and institutional renewal. A palate cleanser, one might say. How is interim ministry different from settled ministry? There's no single recipe for interim ministry, and of course each minister brings their unique strengths and style. But generally, in addition to carrying out customary ministerial duties, interim ministers help congregations explore 5 areas called focus points. Heritage, reviewing how the congregation has been shaped and formed. Mission, defining and redefining sense of purpose and direction. Leadership, reviewing member needs and the congregation's ways of organizing and developing leadership. Connections, discovering and nurturing the relationships a faith community builds outside of itself. Future, preparing for the next era of leadership. Interim ministry is systems work. The interim minister is likely to be quite deliberate about how they join the system and how they leave it as they prepare to conclude their service to the congregation. Since it is about the whole system, it's a team effort. Congregational openness and readiness for interim work generally impacts how the interim minister and staff work together during this time. Because interim ministers are intentionally temporary, they are well positioned to shine light on difficult truths and to effect changes that help move a congregation toward greater health, readying them for new ministry. Sorry, I got a tickle. This is Share the Plate Sunday. The Unitarian Church of Lincoln Share the Plate program is a visible and tangible way for us to support our partners in the community. Every year, the congregation votes on 10 local nonprofits, and all designated offerings during the month will go to that nonprofit. This month's Share the Plate recipient is UCLA Nebraska. Christine Morton, their development director, will now tell us a bit about their work.
It is sunny here in Nebraska, but not quite UCLA sunny today. Thank you, Mary, for having me, and thank you, all of you, for having me here as well. As Mary said, my name is Christine Morton, and I serve as the Development Director for ACLU of Nebraska. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I've been with the ACLU for about 3.5 years. Now, most of my colleagues are attorneys at the ACLU. I and my friend Sam and a couple of other people are more administrative and support in nature. But I'd like to read to you what it is that the ACLU is all about. I like to read it because I think we spent a lot of time struggling over these words to make sure that we got all of the right words in all the right places for the greatest impact. But our vision at the ACLU of Nebraska, we envision a just and accountable Nebraska where we the people means all of us. and where human rights, civil rights, and civil liberties of all people in Nebraska are honored and protected. I think we did pretty good by that whole vision statement. Our mission then is to educate, advocate, and litigate to defend and expand human rights, civil rights, and civil liberties of all Nebraskans. So that's what we're about. We are fortunate in Nebraska to be a part of a national organization that has affiliates in all 50 states. It's really important here in our red state, Nebraska. Even though we are a nonpartisan organization, we know that right now, civil rights and civil liberties are under great attack. So our work right now is very defensive in nature. We focus in on a few core tenets of our work: gender equity, LGBTQ rights, reproductive freedom, those sorts of things. Immigrants' rights, also under attack. Direct democracy, voting rights, for all of us to participate in democracy. Racial justice. Unfortunately, many of the systems that we have here in Nebraska disparately and negatively affect people of color. And smart justice. Smart justice is the one thing out of that whole list that we can be really proactive about in this particular environment. And smart justice is adopting reforms that reform our broken criminal justice system in order to make it more fair for all people and less punitive. We have a system right now, folks, that takes in people and turns them out in way worse shape than when they went in. We need to reform that, and the answer is not to continue to try to build our way out of that ugly, ugly system that we have. I won't preach to the choir today because I realize we're aligned, and I really, really appreciate all of you being here today. I do have a table out front. We very much appreciate your good support in your goodwill and also your monetary contributions. The ACLU is 100% privately funded. We do not seek or accept any government funding whatsoever because that would compromise our position on many, many issues. So every dollar is very, very important, and every dollar helps. Out on my table, out in the sanctuary, I have a People Power QR code. If you'd like to become more informed about what's going on in our government, both federally and here in the state, you can scan that QR code and become part of our People Power, and you get to decide how involved or how not involved you are with that QR code. The other thing that you can do is donate. You're passing the plate, but if you'd like to become a member of the ACLU of Nebraska Union, or if you'd like to become a donor to the ACLU of Nebraska Foundation, we would love, love, love to have your help. So Nebraska, it is for all of us, and I thank you for having me here this morning. Stop out and talk to me and pick up some posters, pick up some stickers, whatever you like. So thank you for having me here today.
Thank you, Christine. As a reminder for this morning, any loose cash or checks made to the Unitarian Church of Lincoln with UCLA Nebraska in the memo line will go to them. You may also text your offering to UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256 and designate Share the Plate. That's UCL Lincoln and the amount, I did it again, didn't I? UC Lincoln and the amount to 73256 with the designation of Share the Plate. As our choir sings again, will the ushers please come forward? The offering will now be gratefully received.
hearts open, minds awake. Change us now for heaven's sake. Leave us not alone in hatred's wake. Show us how to love. Show us how to love. Show us how. Show us how to love.
Good morning, Lincoln. It is wonderful to be here with you today. My name is Reverend A.J. Galazin. My pronouns are he and his, and I'm your interim minister. Wherever you are on your spiritual, ethical, or questioning journey, you are welcome here. And I'm glad you're here because we need each other. If you're visiting with us today, I invite you to join me in the library after the service for a casual conversation. The library is right outside the sanctuary next to the big tree in the gallery. I would love to get to know you and welcome you personally. I am a creature of habit. Anybody else? Okay, a few of you. Working as a manager in nonprofit healthcare facilities, I realized there was always more work than I could possibly accomplish. So my first task was to prioritize. Say that with me, prioritize. I would arrange everything in piles. What must be done immediately, otherwise known as time-sensitive deadlines. What was urgent but could wait a bit. What was interesting but required additional study. What was a distraction, dubious and questionable, and finally what was obviously junk and clutter. Now, I discovered that sometimes my first reaction was not always correct. I learned to delay my knee-jerk approach, if possible, with something some people call a tickler file. It doesn't mean that these issues are humorous. They remain a possible fly in your ointment, if you get my itch. It's my survival strategy because my inbox is always bigger than my outbox. And so occasionally, I need to re-review all of my pending files with the goal of cleaning my slate and starting anew, which was my sermon last Sunday, in case you missed it. The value of retreat and renewal. There's a lot of clutter in this world. Miraculously, a lot of it just evaporates over time. The key is to prioritize. Because, my friends, we can't do everything. I hope I've mentioned to you that I am mystically inspired by geology, the rocks and ridges, fossils and formations, tectonic shifts in our physical world. Our theme for February is inclusion. And of course, I understand the importance of being welcoming and the goal of pluralism and diversity in our communities and congregations. But inclusion is also a geological concept, reminding us that almost everything is not a so-called pure specimen, but rather has various and sometimes microscopic inclusions within that can change both the visible appearances and structural characteristics. For example, the Minnesota State Gemstone is the Lake Superior agate. I live on the south shore of Lake Superior, and I love finding agates with their distinctive glow and red, orange, and yellow circular banding due to inclusions of iron oxide. Traditionally, and you can take this with a grain of salt, the Lake Superior agate is known for helping with self-worth, personal growth, and connecting to other planes of existence. So just for fun, I wondered what the Nebraska State Gemstone was. And I was surprised that it is blue chalcedony, commonly called the blue agate. And the inclusions are copper, iron, titanium, and manganese. The Nebraska agate symbolizes purity, gentle energy, and communication. It's associated with emotional healing and is believed to promote feelings of peace and tranquility. Now, I was surprised to find that Lake Superior agates can be found in Nebraska, of all places. And after meditating for a while on our respective sacred stones, I realized that the Lake Superior agate is a red stone in a blue state, and the Nebraska agate is a blue stone in a red state. Now, for additional extra credit someday, I hope to visit Agate Fossil Beds National Monument, one of the remote natural outposts in northwestern Nebraska, on a spiritual/geological pilgrimage. Each of us brings our own inclusions to this place, our own gifts, our own irritants, our own imperfections, our own crosses to bear, some might say. And our goal is not to hide behind a veil of uniformity in order to please our dear leader, but instead to honor our unique perspectives of justice. Some might say the way God made us, with all of our diversity, equity, and yes, inclusions. Prioritizing reminds us that we can't do everything. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. Everything else keeps getting rusty. So a big task for us is the practice of decluttering. It's not a once and done event. Decluttering needs to be regular, and some might say religious practice. Say that with me, religious practice. For me, it is a religious practice. The word religion means to reconnect. Clutter and junk and thinking we can do everything while the dust keeps accumulating requires us to show up, stay vigilant, take inventory, and keep asking questions. And that's why I'm here, to ask and try to answer some questions. The UUA asks ministers and boards to do regular appraisals during this interim transition period. And we just completed our first review, as Judy said. And I'm happy to report we are on the right track. The Lincoln Unitarian Transition Express has arrived on schedule. All aboard. Say that with me, all aboard. We want everyone aboard this train. This past week, your leadership met in retreat to clarify where you are in this process and prepare you for what comes next. This is one of the major corners that we turn on this route, where the anxiety about your future gently melts into the hopefulness, not hopelessness, the hopefulness of where you're going. Yes, I'm talking about you. This is where you begin to turn your attention toward what comes next. It's exciting. So now it's time for me to ask you a few important questions. First, what's up with the kids? There is a well-known statistic that Unitarian Universalists have some of the lowest levels of retention of their children. We teach our kids to follow their hearts and find their own places in life, which is great. So why do they not want to stay with us when they grow up? Ironically, feeling excluded from other religious traditions is one of the primary reasons people feel welcome here and want to join us. Now, not every new project turns out as planned. Are you, as a community, afraid to take risks? Are there comfortable ruts that you have settled into to avoid messy disagreements? Do your high expectations and lingering perfectionism make you uncomfortable with the possibility of failure? What's the lowest common denominator of success that you can accept? And finally, for your next minister, this will be important. How do you want to grow? I understand you've been hovering at around the same size for a long time. You are in that difficult stratum we call the big church / small church, or the pastoral / program divide. Now let's be clear, growth comes in many forms, not just numbers. For example, you can grow in communication styles, compassion for others, inclusion. And churches of all sizes can be successful. But you will probably need some cultural shifting should you decide to broaden your spiritual presence here in Lincoln. Now, a really healthy sign from my point of view is the great attendance we've had at our first 2 town halls on religious education and music. I meet with your transition team monthly to continue this conversation between leadership and the larger community, because no one should be left behind. And I want to invite you to some exciting events coming up in March. After our service on March 9th, we will convene a worship town hall. What are your thoughts about the future of worship here at UCL? I believe that worship is the work of the people, and that means it takes everyone to help create our weekly gatherings. And today was a great example of that. Shelley's and others' story came out of nowhere as far as I'm concerned, and that's awesome. Not everyone needs to speak in public or perform. There are many ways to contribute. And I like to offer an open invitation to all members and friends to join in a discussion of the creative process. And then for those of you who like to go deeper, anyone like to go deeper? Oh, okay, there's a few people who love to go deeper. On Saturday, March 15th, from 10 a.m. to the early afternoon, I will be hosting a worship workshop. And this is one of my areas of expertise and special interest that I've studied for years. You can stay as long as you want, but we will be doing a general orientation about the basic tools and roles on Sunday morning for people curious about how they may pitch in now and again. as well as for seasoned members. We'll talk about worship theory, theology, customs, traditions, practical matters, and coming attractions, brainstorming ideas for next year, because you have graciously extended my contract. And on March 30th, our service will celebrate Trans Day of Visibility. Given the current efforts to deny people's rights, this is an important opportunity for us to declare loud and proudly. Thank you, Erica, who will be coordinating that service. That we are a welcoming and safe community for all LGBTQIA+ people, and to lift up our trans, non-binary, and non-conforming members and friends. And I am proud to have recently signed an open letter with other Nebraska religious leaders to affirm the rights and dignity of transgender Nebraskans. All children deserve the same experiences of joy, friendship, and confidence that sports teams can provide. All human beings deserve to be treated with respect and given access to such basic decencies as being allowed to use a bathroom. For all of our children, please oppose LB 89. Your assignment this week, should you choose to accept it, ask yourself, have you ever felt excluded? What is your part in honoring the inclusions of this beloved community? And when someone calls, and they will, and asks you what you want this church to become, what will you say? Dear friends, let's no longer fear inclusion, but instead, let's be joyful for the never-ending diversity we have yet to discover. Blessed be, may it be so, and amen. Please rise now in body or spirit for our closing song, number 323, Break Not the Circle.
Break not the circle of enabling love, where people grow forgiven and forgiving. Break not the circle, make it wider still, till it includes, embraces all the living. Come wonder at this love that comes to life, where words of freedom are with humor spoken, and people keep no score of wrong and guilt, but will let human bonds remain unbroken. Come then the movement of the love that frees, till people of whatever race or nation will truly be themselves, stand on their feet, see eye to eye with laughter and elation.
I've never heard that hymn before, but I love laughter and elation. Our closing words come from Reverend Rod Richards. May we practice sacred flexibility, letting go of geometric purity when it comes to our circles, so that we are unafraid to draw them wider, stretch them longer, and find joy in the task of rearranging. Let us be fearless in our willingness to make new shapes, so that we may be accountable to people who have not found us yet, so we may welcome those who thirst for our healing message, so that we may engage with our people and our partners in this work before us, to save our lives as citizens and human beings. My friends, go forth now and make some new shapes.